Hi, today we're going to read Amber Brown is Tickled Pink by Paula Danziger. Chapter 1. I, Amber Brown, have to spend $1 million. Mrs. Holt just told me so. Actually, everyone in our class has to spend $1 million. Too bad it's not real money. Mrs. Holt says spending $1 million isn't as easy as you might think. We have to have a lot of facts and figures, and we each have to make a pie chart. I like eating pies, not charting them. When the project is finished, we'll have a budget fair so we can see each other's work, Mrs. Holt told us. I think a budget fair sounds like a place to go on a really cheap ride and get half-price cotton candy. Mrs. Holt starts to make a list of things we have to include. Number 1, buy a house. Number 2, pay for college. Number 3, give to charity. And number 4, spend the rest in $25,000 chunks. Mrs. Holt likes lists almost as much as I do, but my lists are more fun. This is math, which is not my best subject. It makes me wish my best friend Justin Daniels still lived here. That's nothing new. Everything makes me wish Justin still lived here. But he and his family moved to Alabama last year. We still talk on the phone and write to each other, but it's not like having him right across the street. Bobby Clifford raises his hand. This makes me think he's going to make an armpit fart. To my surprise, he actually has a question. What about my new car, he says. Put it in your budget, but remember, I want details. You'll have to research the make and the price. Mrs. Holt raises her hand. Ready, set, start your budgets. She swishes her arm right down. Now, Jimmy Russell makes engine noise starting a race car. Vroom, vroom, budget, vroom, vroom. He is so immature. Mrs. Holt gives him the teacher look. He stops his engine. She passes around printouts of real estate listings so we can start our house hunting. I don't want to look at them. In real life, Mom and Max, the guy she's going to marry, just bought a house. It wasn't so much fun. I, Amber Brown, am only 9 years old, but soon my mother will have her third last name since I've known her, which is all my life. First she was Sarah Brown. Then she and my dad got divorced and she went back to being Sarah Thompson, which was her name before they got married. Now she's about to become Sarah Turner. It's a good thing her first name isn't Pancake. Get it? Pancake Turner. I looked down at the budget worksheet. Number 1 is buy a house. We haven't even moved into our new house yet, and Mom is already worrying about how much everything costs. She said she feels like she and Max are leaking money. Not to mention worrying about how much the wedding might cost. Number 2 is paying for college. During the divorce, my mom and dad argued a lot about that. It made my stomach hurt. So 1 and 2 on Mrs. Holt's list makes me cranky. 3 and 4 are a lot more fun. I start spending my $25,000 in chunks. Number 1, $25,000 for the Justin Daniels Amber Brown Travel Fund. That way we can get together whenever we want. Number 2, the Mom and Max Wedding Fund. In real life, Mom and Max are still figuring out what to do. Max wants a big wedding. Mom wants a small one. I'm with Max on this one. I think we really need to have an OTT wedding. Kelly Green told me that phrase OTT means over the top. I, Amber Brown, am frequently over the top. Number 3, speaking of Kelly Green, I would give her $25,000 to get her last name changed. I like Kelly, but I prefer to be the only kid in class with a colorful name. What's next? I look around the room and get more ideas. Number 4, Brandy Colwyn gets $25,000 to start an animal beauty parlor. We painted the toenails on her slobbery sheepdog Darth Vader once, 1 color per nail. Many pets could benefit from this treatment. Number 5, $25,000 to put on Pickle Me Silly. That's the musical Brandy and Kelly and I are writing. We were inspired when we saw Brenda, she's my Amber sitter, in our high school musical. It was so much fun we decided to make one for our own. So far we have half a song. And number 6, $25,000 for anti-nose picking therapy for Frederick Allen. He could use a session now. It's such a habit with him. I bet he doesn't even know his index fingers in his left nostril right this minute. I see Hannah Burton number 7. I see Hannah Burton staring at herself in her Number 7. I see Hannah Burton staring at herself in her pocket mirror. I bet her charity budget is the Me, Wonderful Me Fund. She gets $25,000 for a personality transplant. Mrs. Holt looks over my shoulder. Amber, please remember that you have to present your final project at the budget fair. Everyone in the class will see it. I know I have to get serious. I look at my budget notes. I realize I put in something for Mom, but nothing for Dad. That makes me feel bad. Ever since Mom and Max decided to get married and Dad moved back to the town, I, Amber Brown, feel like a division problem. I don't need a pie chart. I feel sliced up already. That's the end of chapter 1. Join me next time for chapter 2.